I had spent 2 years on campus. I'm a Irvinite. Pun, she's like, okay, Pier foot.
Oh my
And then she
gosh.
turned it into Pierre Putty Good.
Oh my goodness. Love a love story. An adventurous love
An
story.
adventurous one,
So,
yes.
with that, you're here, you're working, you are building this successful career, you are now physio to the stars. How does that come about? Is that intentional?
So that was not intentional, can I
Okay.
say? Because before I had no 95-ish about there. I traveled between Spanish Town and Maypen. I used to come to a doctor's office in Maypen and do some physioing. At the time, there was Galaxy FC, a football club based in Clarendon. And the owner of Galaxy FC, Jimmy Chin, was a friend of my dad's. So I started working with Galaxy FC, and I worked Monday to Sunday because it was hospital, and then Saturday, Sunday, I was with the football team if they have a match on Saturday or we're traveling to somewhere for the Sunday. So that was the stint there. And then had no little bit of idea about Jamaica Association of Sports Medicine from school. And it was Pat Luchain and Elizabeth Robinson, senior physios, but they were like, Pierre, you need to join and come and work with us, kind of thing. And so they got me interested, became a member. First stint was World Juniors, where Bolt was founded by IAF, so to speak, as a junior um, protege, yeah. So that was the first stint, working World Juniors here, um, being involved with champs. My second trip was to El Salvador for a CAC game. There was a major earthquake in El Salvador while I was there. So the little shakes that doing the 5 and the 4.5, I was like, sure. We were in El Salvador, and an earthquake sounds like a battalion, men on horseback, riding, and you hear the thundering from way from afar, that rumbling,
Yeah, it's a
rumbling,
sound that I can't.
rumbling,
It's
the
not even the shaking, it's the
sound
sound.
coming towards you, you're going, horsemen, kind of thing, until the shake got the building. There were more casualties from athletes jumping, trying to run down the stairs, etc., with that earthquake. But I hear it, we learned afterwards it's something that happens in El Salvador pretty often because we are near an earthquake on a table. It's at Mesa in San Salvador. So that was one other excitement. And then afterwards, I've just been working and being with junior athletes and did a whole stint with junior athletes first, because that's how you were mentored or ushered into the sports medicine society then until you got your senior trip. But don't I won't segue into senior trips as yet because I love the juniors and stuck with juniors. So champs, Carifta, World Youth, World Juniors, Junior CAC, that was me at the time. Segue into actually coming back to Maypen, to Clarendon to live. And still no placement in government hospital. But at the time, Maypen Hospital was being transformed from a type, either DRC to upgraded to a type B. So they needed a physio department. And having worked with Dr. Dawes, Winston Dawes, he was like, oh, Pierre, we're upgrading. We want to start up a physio department. Come. And so I took the job. Mind you, there was a physio department there way back in the earlys. Vira Codner, I think, was a physio then. And then the department closed. So I was brought into Maypen Hospital to set up the department actually and get it going. So in 2003, I was there with procurement, doing inpatient, doing a little bit of outpatient because we had a room, not a big department, and we didn't have much equipment at that time. So it was mostly inpatients that I was doing. But by that time, it felt like physiotherapy was a hustle. You know, you couldn't just be in government practice and earn a deal. You had to be doing probably a little home visit or working with a football team or doing other stuff. Pier-Ann was born in 2002. Yes. 2002, I lie. Pier-Ann is 1996. I got married 1995, right? So Pier-Ann came a year after, 1996. And I should remember because the Pier-Ann War was happening. And so we coined Pier-Ann.
Because of a war?
So my Terry is Tehri.
Oh
like
my gosh, like Tehran?
Yes.
Oh, like a place in Iran?
Yes. And we made it Terry Ann because we didn't want the Terry or the Terri. So it's like Tehran War, yeah. Terry Ann.
Jamaicans with naming are undefeated, you know? Jamaicans with naming are undefeated.
So that's where we got Terry Ann from.
Wow.
Yes. And her grandmother was Sarah. So we did Terry and Sarah. Yeah, so 95, 96, 96. Yeah, she was 96. Ashley was 2002. Yes. So going hospital 2003, again, the struggles, finding the caregiver, struggling with that, working, doing the juggling, the hustling. Prior to that, 2001, I did a little stint in the Cayman Islands. So I was at Chrissy Tomlinson, again another mentor. Went and worked with her, did the year, but when you're in private practice, you don't get your family to be with you. So I had to be traveling back and forth, right? Or they would come up and see me, and that wasn't working. So came back, but I'd still get to go Cayman to do, like when persons went on vacation, I'd go and fill in a 2-week or a 3-week. And I was introduced to the BRAC, Cayman BRAC. No, it's the second, there are 3 islands in the Cayman Islands: Grand Cayman, Cayman BRAC, and Little Cayman. So I had a colleague who was on the BRAC, and I'd go and do relief work for him on the BRAC. So 2003, end of 2003, he's like, oh, my contract, I'm not renewing my contract. Would you like to come? And I'm like, okay, we'll think about it. Just started building our home, kind of thing. And he's like, let me know if you're interested. I'm like, yeah, I'm interested, kind of tentative. And then he calls back and say, I really am leaving. You need to send everything in. We'll work through, etc. 2003, going 2004, sent everything in, and then I get a letter to say, oh, we need you here in 2 months' time or so. And that was like, gee, we need to go. They need me in 3 months' time. And then, you know, with Cayman, you have to get police record, you have to get recommendations and all of that fixed up. And the move was like, oh, when you move here, we put you up for a week, but then you have to find where you're going to be living, and then you have to think car, and then you have to think new place, and all of that. And you have to find or finance yourself upfront. Because again, with government service, even here in Jamaica, you know, when you start working, there is the glitch. You might not get paid the first month, you might not get paid the second month, going into the third month, depending, I don't know what it is. But we had to find or get funds situated just in case we weren't paid for that. Part of the contract was that they do a relocation
Right,
package kind of thing. So that wasn't an issue. So it was like packing up. Terry-Ann was at preschool, prep school. Ashley was a baby. And we were like, okay, we just start building. This is what finances will look like. New culture, chance for the girls to see, grow up. You had other Jamaicans there. Some were being negative, some were, you know, being encouraging. But basically, they were telling it as it was and what to expect. And if we could manage that sort of thing. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm up for the challenge because I love to travel and I love the culture. And I'm the type of person that gets on with everyone. In terms of work and what they were saying, because I had that experience in Florida, and the, leaving Florida or leaving at that time, in analysis, it was coming out of UWI, knowing who you are. The black movement was taking place at that time, and it was like, I don't have to take this kind of thing. I don't need this kind of thing. So when persons were telling me about Cayman, by that time I was like, I know what I'm going for. I know I don't want to live permanently there, etc., etc. It was to go and eventually come back.
Okay.
Because I wasn't planning on staying.
Okay.
And their contracts are either 2 years or 3 years. The contracts are set up so that you don't go over 7 years.
Okay.
Because if you are there as a resident for 7 years, you can apply for what they call status or citizenship. England does not give away their British passport that easily. So you knew that in terms of contract, it would either be 2-3-2 or 2-2-2. And then you have to return to wherever you're from for the year. Sit out a year and you can go back. Yeah, but they break the contract so you don't get a chance to become a citizen.
Wow.
Yes. So, ready for the trip. Boy, it was like Columbus going on his voyage, don't know where. No, not quite. But we packed up, got everything, and took the girls, and we went. So everybody was on the work permit, Garnet, the girls, and we got in, went to Cayman Brac. Getting to Cayman Brac is via Twin Otter planes.
What does that mean?
14 seaters, the little ones, yes. And so, and they had a barge, that would come over. So, you know, you could go with your suitcases and then your stuff would come afterwards. So we got there. I was situated at Faith Hospital. At the time, it was a 10-bed hospital. Yes, and it had physiotherapy department, it had radiology department, it had a pharmacy as well, and the nursing home was next door to the hospital. Same compound, but next door. And I settled in as the sole physiotherapist in Cayman Brac. Yes. Unlike our departments in Jamaica, The transformation was that you had everything at your fingertips. So equipment, beds, whatever you wanted or needed would be sourced and you'd have it. So I had 2 rooms and a little workstation area. So 2 beds inside the department, but everything, all the equipment I needed, all the small equipment, every resource that you could. So I was doing outpatient as well as inpatient and the nursing home and the home visits.
So that's a lot.
Yes, because healthcare in the Cayman Islands is free.
Okay.
Yes. So once the person needed physio or any other service, then you'd go. So you just have to plan and rotate. You had patients over by you're not seeing everybody, but I was involved in the recreation, right, and mobility aspect of the nursing home, yeah, and home visits. Fine, once you were introduced and got in, then it was smooth sailing. Um, the challenge, any challenge? My first major challenge, unlike here when we are in hospital, you can leave your station and do the little go and chit chat with somebody, radiography kind of thing. You were scheduled. So you had 2 breaks, morning coffee break, afternoon coffee break, and lunch. And these breaks were like 15 minutes. We had a sister, yeah, and we had the SMO and other doctors. But they were rigid with their 15 minutes. So 15 minutes wasn't to go to nurses' station, to chit chat with nurses who had work, or your coffee break was coffee break room or wherever outside, whatever, 15 minutes, and return to your station. So
that never worked for you.
yeah, man, that worked
You
for
make it
because
work.
you make it work.
You make
You
it
fall in. I mean, I'm okay with that too, or I'd stay in my department, kind of thing. My people in the workspace, whatever workspace I am, aren't, and they had issue with that. I didn't. So yes, doctors, nurses, radiographers, etc., are colleagues, and we're there. But my people in my workspace, the cleaners, the people who cook in the canteen, the gardener, those are the people that I'd morning, how are you? What's happening? And they'd gravitate to me as well, giving them the little hints. Oh, we have a pain or a ache. Okay, come and see me, get your referral done up, and I'd take care of them. Yeah, even from here. You should try it too, because when you don't have that lunch money, the cook can think there and will fix you something or give you something, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're on the street or out on the road, your gardener not going past you. Yeah? Or those persons. And so those are the persons who I'd come home to Jamaica and take back a little piece of Jamaica to them too, in the Cayman Islands, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And I remember once a doctor asking me, why on your break time you're down in kitchen area or ancillary staff area with, he had used those people instead of staying to chit chat with the doctors in the doctor's room thing. They're like, and I'm like, I'm comfortable. Those are my people. That's just me. You know, I don't want to stay up in, you know, kind of. But yeah, I was asked that question in Cayman. Why am I always with those, the ancillary or the other workers, instead of with them, the doctors and the nurses in their rec area? But that's just me, down to earth.
So tell me about culture. Tell me about the things that were challenging in Cayman, including education for your children.
So, Culturally, there's this thing, I don't know where it stemmed from, between Caymanians and Jamaicans. I must admit that sometimes Jamaicans go overseas and they must be seen, heard, and do negative things, etc., and be loud. And you don't have to be loud to be seen or heard. Yeah? And so there's a stigma, and I found quite often they'd lump or group Jamaicans or say Jamaicans do this or Jamaicans do that, etc., etc. When I got in with them and got comfortable and they were comfortable with me, I'd hear that kind of talk, and I'd get the Jamaicans them bad and them do this, but we don't mean you. And I'm like, you're generalizing. Now you said Jamaicans. I'm Jamaican, but the difference is I know myself and I know that I am not like that. So it's okay. I'm not offended because in truth and in fact, some Jamaicans come here and make it bad or cause you to have that stigma. But yes, when you generalize, you're talking about me too. I can try to enlighten you or show you that we aren't all like that. Yes? But I'm cool because by then I knew myself. Challenge in the workplace. Cayman and some Caymanians back then operated in a bubble. So Cayman is their world. Yes? You say, enlighten our darkness, we beseech thee, O Lord, and by thy great mercies? Yes. I had to put up with that. Because for some, probably flying to Tampa or Miami, that's their world. Me, poor girl, been traveling since my eye down my knee. Good? Know the cultures, etc. So that wasn't my bubble. When it came to practicing physio, I got that sometimes, even from the sister and other nurses. This is how we do it, or this is how the other physio did. And I was like, look, I'm coming in even as a past president of Jamaica Physiotherapy Association, in au fait with World Physiotherapy Standards. So what I do is evidence-based, and it is such that I'll do my work that if I have a legal case, I can call legal people from World Physio to prove that my scope of practice or my line of practice is in line internationally, not in line with Cayman or Cayman Brack. Cannot work. It has to be in line internationally. Because if anybody sue me or try sue me, I can bring in the people from the world internationally. So I got that across. And then they used to hang stuff over even nurses or other persons' head on contract to say, I'm related to so, or I know so in government. I can get you fired or your contract not renewed. And many times I'd say, I know where I'm from. I'm from Jamaica. I'm not on a wanted list. I can go back home anytime. Bring it. Because that's what it is. Anytime you're ready, I am ready.
Why you think they felt
that they should threaten people like that or whatever?
Because you were doing your job, so what was the problem?
It wasn't their way. So let me tell you. I'll give you an example. You get a referral to come to me because you have back pain. But not all back pains are the same or stem from this. Some might be neuro, some might be muscular, some might be a disc, different things. So I have to assess you, and then I am going to treat you how you're, from a protocol, an evidence-based protocol, so to speak. But you'd come in and say to me, I have back pain is the same back pain. And the physio from way back, or what works is that you put on the hot pack and you massage me. Who is the physio? And if you're not doing so, or it's not to their liking or whatever, then you're not doing your job, thing there, whatever. And they can talk to whoever. That never cut it with me. Again, I must be international and it's on point. On the job training, I had persons come in and say, oh, this is so-and-so's daughter, and we want you to train her on the job to do physio. Hello? 3-year, 4-year degree program, internship, licensed to touch people, treat people. There is no on-the-job training. Sorry, can't get me do it. Let her come from admin, whoever. Sorry, there is a program. You want to learn physio? You can come and observe, you know.
Wait, as in the person never went to school?
High school leaver, on-the-job training.
Oh.
You can come and observe. You're not licensed, you can't even put a hot pack on my patient. In my office, receptionist, anybody that is not licensed, I can ask you to count exercise. Count for this patient. She used to do 10 reps. And that's fine. Students, same thing. You're working under me and I'm supervising. But I cannot be out of the building and tell you as a student, say, put on hot pack or 10 thing there, because you have to be directly supervised. You're in the craft, but there's no on-the-job training. That happened, been there, done that, stood my ground against resistance, call up in meeting, defend it. What are you talking about? And that's culture for them, because it's apprenticeship, because the expats come in and get the work that are there for Caymanians. Yeah? How about Caymanians leaving and going and study and come back and get the work? Any territory in the Caribbean or else anywhere has the right to give their citizens preference over expat to do a job. They have the right to not renew your contract if you had a recent graduate from that territory who is now qualified to do the job you're doing, to send you home. I have no issue with that. I wish Jamaica would adapt that sometimes, instead of giving, you have qualified Jamaicans here who can do the job, willing to do the job, but they take expats in and give things there. So Cayman is not like that. Quite a number of the other territories are not like that. They give their citizens preference.
Okay.
Yeah? And I'm good with that. I'm also good with countries saying, this is how I'd allow you to enter. And the immigration officer has the right to refuse you entry, because it's their country.
All right.
I have no problem with that, because I must be in line to enter your country.
Yeah.
And if I'm not in line, it's okay for you to say, go back home.
All right.
And I must know your law too, so you're not sending me back home without a reason or a justified cause. Because I need to speak to your supervisor or the Minister of Tourism or whoever is in charge. Good? Simple as that.